people, younger people, apprentices. Look, I've been in this business, well, I've been working since 1983. I've been making $3.10 an hour when I first started here working in America as an American citizen. I never worked nowhere else in the world. So in 1984, $3.10 was the legal wage to pay a human being. Then it went from $4 an hour to $4.25, $5, and so on. I've also worked with people who used to make $1 an hour, and they were still working. They, I came in at $3.10, at $3.15, $3.25. Well, they were there $1 an hour, so they were there years before I started working. But these very people I'm talking about, these old black people I used to know, their houses were paid for. They drove nice Cadillacs, nice cars. They had houses over there on 76 and Western and Dinker area, areas like that, real nice areas, the homes. And these people work. Now, the subject today is working with elderly and working with the young, which is an apprenticeship. And I'm talking to journeyman level or people that's been in the business, maybe months prior, maybe years prior, before these, the new people decide to come in. And then I'm talking about the people that was here way before you even thought about working. Okay, so there's two sides of the candle I'm gonna burn in this conversation, and this is a real deal conversation that's been dealing with, with my heart and my spirit, and I've been noticing this. Okay, in 1984 and 85 and the mid 80s and the early 90s, when I first started working, when a woman dropped something or when she was going to pick up something heavy, the men would pick it up. They would make a gesture to pick it up if another man didn't pick it up. And if women were on the construction site, it wasn't that, you try to baby them or you try to shelter them. No, physically, even with men, some women can't pick up certain amount of weight. Some men can't pick up a certain amount of weight. Okay, now let's bring it to 2019. I see a woman on one side of a heavy box, and I see three men on the other side, the opposite side of the heavy box. I see a woman drop something, three men will walk past. One man will drop something, five men will pick it up. I don't understand that part. Now, when you're working with an apprentice, which means a person that doesn't really know the trade and they're a beginner, and you are their teacher, their leader, or their, you're supposed to show them what's going on. You know what I notice about a lot of people at work? They always talk about what people don't know. They always talk about, oh, they're gonna hurt me. Oh, they're gonna do this. But look, you know what I always tell those people? Why don't you show the new people what to do? Why don't you show them the proper way? I mean, I don't understand where people get off on saying, oh, I know something. Well, if you know something, the Bible says, iron sharpens iron, stone sharpens stone, and men sharpen men. So if you can sharpen a man's mind to do something, become a better person, then you'll become a better person. And that man will remember you, or that woman will remember you. But for you to try to belittle people because they don't know, you got to understand, they don't supposed to know. And if you do know, you're supposed to teach them. Now, let's go back to helping the elderly. When you see an older person that's working, that's been around, probably old enough to be your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, as in some instances, these people have aches and pains, and these people are still working. And sometimes they can't pick up a heavy item. that's like super duper heavy. Why not help them without complaining? You know, I see people sit back and watch an old person do something that it takes 4 people to do or 3 people to do. They treat the woman just like they do the old senior citizen. They won't help them. But you let an old white boss drop something that talk more mess about anybody, spit tobacco in a jar, let him drop something. You'll have 5 people, 5 men pick up something for that man before they'll pick up with that one woman. And you guys out there know this is the truth, and this is the society we live in now. And I was telling one guy, say, hey man, you know the lady right there is elderly. You know, she probably got aches and pains, and you can see how people get up. And they still working. Just because people are at work don't mean that they're not injured some type of way. They don't have full functions of their bodies, and they're still trying to do it. So when you're a union or when you become a workforce, that means you help people. Everybody have different levels of strength, different levels of knowledge. So if you could fit in where you get in, then you all good. But for you to try to tear down a person when they're learning and trying, and you're not trying to help them, and you always belittling people, and you want to just talk about what they don't know, you know what that makes you look like in the eyes of a wise man or a person that knows better? You're no better than them. So for all apprenticeship, all the apprentices that's out there listening to me, listen to me. When you're on a job, ask questions. Ask questions to the ones who want to teach you. For the ones who always want to talk smart and say some little underhanded stuff to you, like something like this. Like say for instance, you don't know how to tie a certain knot, right? A bowing or opera knot or any type of thing. Some you just don't know how to do, right? And you go to one guy and then he goes, oh, you don't know how to tie a knot. You don't know how to tie a knot. Oh my God, this guy right here don't know how to tie a knot. See, forget him. Don't ever ask him another thing. Forgive him. You know, shake the dust, knock the dust off your feet, brush your shoulders off. Don't let that fool get in your head. There's people out there like that. Now, go to the man that says, you don't know how to tie a knot? Come here, my brother. Let me show you. He's going to take you to the side. He's going to be very quiet, and ain't nobody even going to know what y'all doing. Stick with that person. If a person is going to lead you in the correct way, stick with that person. If somebody always trying to put you on blast because you don't know, what you are finding out and what you do know is those people are very ignorant, and that's the way they were taught up. Maybe they were brought up like, you know, people kicking puppies or abusing animals or some shit. I don't know. But for people to be in the workforce today and do each other like that, look, let me tell you something. I used to be a general contractor, and I ain't never seen so much cutthroat, backstabbing. Oh my God. In an industry that I mean, these are human beings. And you know what the problem is too? They make good money. You got some that's arrogant, and then you have some that's dope heads, then you have some that's alcoholics, then you have some that's telltales, you have some that's liars, backbiters, stabbers. So now you got to work in the pit with all these vipers, because that's exactly what it is. When you're working with these vipers and you see them over there with they forked tongues and they doing all they little weird shit, stay away from them. That's all you got to do. The workplace is big enough where you can stay away from them. And if they keep coming at you, start praying on it. Ask God to keep that spirit away from you. Ask God to give you the strength and the wisdom to know how to deal with that. Because a lot of people in this industry and in this world, on this planet, don't believe in God. They'll tell you they killed him a long time ago, and they will give credit to any and everything but God, but Jesus Christ, the creator and the maker of the whole world and everything that's in here. Okay, so just to be said, get back to the point. Help each other at work. Remember, senior citizens, they're not as strong and they're not as agile as you may be. Let's put it that way. But they're there, they're willing, they're capable, and they're very knowledgeable, and they're very they're needed because they can teach the next generation. And you young generations, don't disrespect the older generation just because they move slower and you can move fast. Well, guess what? When you're young, you're supposed to move fast. You're supposed to run. Everything is get up and go, ass and elbows. That's when you're young. When you're older, you're supposed to slow down. You're much wiser. You know what I mean? You're much more cautious because you're not going to heal as fast as a young person do if something do happen to you. And a lot of times when you guys working, hey, if one guy is pushing like something wrong with him, yo, brother, look, check this out. Work together. Work in harmony. Work in that pace where everybody could, you know, relate. And realize if somebody's having a heat stroke, or realize if somebody's getting sick. You know, a lot of people are dogmatic, and you have a lot of bosses that will ask you to go 100 miles, and them motherfuckers won't even step a foot near 100 miles. So you understand me? So a lot of times the workers are more realer than the person that's sitting there talking shit and that don't want to help nobody. They always demanding and commanding, and I see people falling and getting sick and falling by the wayside, and I don't like that neither. So take care of yourself out there. Don't let nobody run you in the ground or early grave. Okay? So what you want to do is this. When you're at work, pace yourself. And the Bible says, in well-doing, don't worry. If you there, you making an honest dollar, you making an honest living, you doing an honest pace, and you know the race is not given to the swift, but to the ones that endure. So all them ones that want to, you know, think you rabbit at the beginning of the day, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., they ain't no good. And then if you got a 10, 12-hour day, and you got almost stupid-ass bosses out there that's hyped up on some shit, too much coffee or whatever it may be, drugs, cocaine, dope, whatever the fuck you doing out there, you want to push the crew, push them, and you know, you won't even do it. And then you talk so much, and you know, a lot of times as a crew, we look at you and you go, look at this idiot. We're not going to do what you say because you're going to get somebody hurt because you wired up on something. And that's not a natural pace when you're dealing with people. When you're dealing with people, start looking at people in their eyes and realize what they're going through. And quit talking to people and giving them instructions over loud equipment. You're giving serious instructions over loud equipment with your fucking back turned, your head turned, and you expect people to understand what you're talking about. And then when you don't get the cooperation that you expect, because your communication is so fucked up and it's so scattered, then that's what your whole day is. But if you take time to explain stuff to people and look at them in their face, take your time, quit whatever the fuck you wired up on, whatever you guys are doing, take your time. Or if you feel like you don't have the patience to talk to somebody, or you don't have the camaraderie, or you don't even have the knowledge to talk to human beings, you know, you only talk to dogs or some shit, or you only know how to fucking talk to alligators or wolves, I don't know, dedicate or allocate that position to somebody else to talk to these people. Don't you put yourself in a position to make everybody not want to work for you. See, now I'm talking for the fucked up bosses. You know, you talk all that shit to people, and you talk loud to people, and you try to force people to do stuff, you know, under coercion of your job, man, fuck that job. You understand me? And fuck you. All the bad bosses out there, we don't like you. And for all the good workers out there, keep up the good work, keep up the good thing. Until next time, I'm Arabic. Take care of yourself. And
I'm J-Bird.
baby, push that button.